da stojim ovdje pred vama. Ja ću međutim govoriti na engleskom jeziku, ako me izvinite, i da kažem da it's a great honor to stand here today at the opening of this very important conference. This is a very good example of what Serbia needs at this stage in the policy development process on sustainable development, and there are quite a few Swedes here today. We are very honored to have a visit by the Executive Director of the Stockholm Environment Institute, Mr. Johan Schiedenstierna. And I'm also happy to see that there will be a presentation made by a small Swedish furniture company called IKEA. Who is from IKEA here today? There we are, yes. So Sweden is well represented here today, and this is very very good. Because Sweden is very engaged on these issues. We are certainly engaged on these issues. And these issues are relevant for many good reasons. One is the continuing preparation of the opening of the Chapter 27 of the EU acquis, the European Union legislation. You have issues such as water management, waste management, nature protection, industrial pollution, risk management, chemical management, climate change management, all these things which have to be developed as part of the EU integration process. But they would of course have to be developed even if Serbia was not going to enter into the European Union. These are extremely important issues in themselves. This is still the most difficult chapter to implement for Serbia if we look at the EU acquis legislation, since it requires both substantial legislative work and substantial investments in infrastructure. For instance, water cleaning today in Serbia is not more than perhaps 10%, whereas the EU requirement in the future will be 90%. And this will be quite challenging. It's challenging to any country, and it's a long-term process which doesn't really have to be fully concluded before entering into the EU. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's a long-term process. It's very important to make substantial progress, and the process will sort of never really end. And I recommend reading, there's a shadow report published recently on Chapter 27. It was called, I think it's written by the Coalition 27, it is called. I recommend you reading that report if you want to learn more about these issues. I think it's a very useful product. Still, I don't want to sound as if this is, to focus too much on the problems in all this. I think this conference is rightly also focusing on the solutions and on the sort of upbeat perspective, which I think is very good to have when we address these issues. There are big issues out there, and there is, and we are not necessarily satisfied with the present situation. But the future is pretty bright if we look at the way forward, because we are about to open up a totally new part of economic development. This will bring jobs. This will bring economic growth. There's plenty of preparedness abroad, in Sweden, in the European Union, sometimes in the World Bank, to assist a country like Serbia in solving these problems. Of course, a problem like climate change cannot be solved by Serbia alone, nor can Sweden alone solve it. I think Sweden is now working on becoming a fossil fuel-free economy by the middle of this century, and this will be an interesting challenge for Sweden. We will try to leave fossil fuel-driven cars behind, for instance, and we will develop new ways of producing energy in a održivi manner, in a non in a sustainable manner. And we are working on that since a long time. So each country has its challenges, and Serbia can certainly catch up with those who are today perhaps a little bit ahead, shall we say, and there will be assistance provided for this. If I talk for Sweden, I can say that Sweden also already has a very positive and substantial cooperation with the Serbian Ministry of Agriculture and Environment on issues such as how to plan the necessary infrastructure investment on water cleaning, what are the pitfalls, what can be done, and what is the Swedish experience in all this. We are working with Serbia on improving the way in which manure from poultry and swine farming is being taken care of. This is also very important, not least for water quality in the areas where there is a lot of poultry and swine farming going on. We are looking into and also investing in how to deal with recycling and garbage handling. Recycling is a very big industry today, and it can certainly be a big industry in Serbia in the future. So as you hear, these are sectors where there are solutions, where there is financing possibilities. It does not have to be an enormous burden for the Serbian population. I went to Niš recently, and I understood that the new wastewater cleaning installation, which will be provided in Niš, financed largely financed by the European Union. It will increase wastewater or water cleaning tariffs for the people in Niš by no more than 5%, and it will provide cleaner water and better water. This will increase health over the long perspective, and it will increase the quality of food, since clean water is a prerequisite for everything. So this is certainly a win-win situation. You could argue that these kind of investments actually decrease costs for society over time because people become healthier. There is long-term absolutely no reason why Serbs in average live 10 years shorter lives than Swedes do. I mean, here we have a huge challenge to address, and environment is part of this. But we have to see it as a perfectly solvable challenge. Things will improve. There will be cooperation to do it. There will be more jobs by this, and this is why these conferences like this are so important, because we need to spread this message and not to succumb to pessimism, which says that, oh, the problems are huge, we have no money, we can't solve this, it's going to get worse. The answer is no, it's not going to get worse. And I think Mr. Shidor will provide even more optimism in that direction. It has been done. Sweden was in a bad situation on environment in the early 70s, if you look at water quality, for instance. So based on this, I would like to strike this happy note, quite simply. And I think this is sort of what I wanted to say. I have a nasty sense I haven't used 20 minutes yet, but I think you will forgive me for ending shorter. Once again, thank you for organizing this conference. Sweden will support not only the entry into the European Union by Serbia and what is required for that. Sweden will also support developing sustainable development, environmentally friendly development, and sustainable economic growth in Serbia. And Sweden is not unique in this work. The entire European Union wants to help, and so does many other international actors. But this is a process which has to be guided has to be driven by Serbia itself, and many of those of you who are sitting here today will be the ones doing it. So thank you for listening to me. Thank you.